Hello friends, rebirthians, stampeders, toastmasters, students, family, book lovers, CLCians, NLPers, FLPers, as well as co-passengers of the journey called Rising Out of Ashes. How are you? Ready to rock? Yes. Today is 15th of January. Almost half month of the first brand new year has gone. How fast life moves, isn't it? Well, today is the day to take our third step towards our goal of living life on choice rather than on chance. Are you ready? Shall we move on? Well, I am really overwhelmed with all that appreciation and love which you have given to me. And I'm especially thankful, Mrs. Jasbir, that you have asked me to elaborate upon the story of David, about which I had mentioned in my last conversation with all of you. Yes, you are right. The David statue which you were mentioned in your conversation to me on the phone, David is the same statue, the one you are mentioning, male nude statue. This is the one which I had talked about in our conversation last time, and I had compared ourselves with the same David. Now, David is a biblical hero who had killed Goliath the giant with just 3 simple weapons. Now, mention of David in our story of transformation is very essential as well as meaningful. Why? Because we also have the same 3 weapons and we can also kill our giants. Now, you must be wondering, giants? I don't have any giants. And whom am I to overpower? Well, these things are symbolic. For example, that statue, the historical monument, that is symbolic. Male means it's a symbolism for energy, power, strength, and regeneration. And nakedness means originality, the core basal reality, the truth. सारे मास्क उतारने के बाद की अवस्था. Same where giant here does not mean anybody who is really powerful or devilish or something who is alien in this world. By giant, it means that external power or that external forces which are creating fear in our hearts or in our minds and are stopping us to take the essential steps towards our growth. We all have experienced these fears. That is the reason we remain clogged in a box and we don't try to attempt even to make a change. Now the story is like this. David was a biblical hero, as I had mentioned, and there was a war going on between Israel and Philistine, which is known as Palestine in these days. And I'm sure you are familiar with this fact that Israel is the birthplace of Christianity. So the story goes like this, that in Philistine army, there was a very big, powerful, and a very tall, hefty soldier whose name was Goliath. And he was very, very rude, arrogant, as well as a fear-creating tormentor. So just like all those people who are powerful and are intended to create fear, he would talk in a very powerful, booming sounding voice, and he would challenge the Israeli army to send soldiers to come and fight with him. Not only that, he was covered from head to toe under an armor which was made out of nails. The only possible visible portion of his body was his eyes, remaining he was covered under a big powerful armor. And he had another advantage. He was at the top of the hill, whereas Israeli army was in the valley. So they were sitting targets, and Goliath was at a height, so nobody could go reach him over there. The only visible portion was his eyes, so they could not go and hit him there. David, an 18-year-old lad, he was a shepherd boy. So he used to go give food to his brothers who were soldiers in the army. Goliath would come every day and he would insult them, ridicule them, challenge them, and make fun of them. And this was something which David did not like. He asked his brothers, "Why don't you go and defeat him?" Already frustrated soldiers, they angrily looked at David and asked him, "Who can defeat him? Can't you see how powerful and how hefty, and his whole body is covered under an armor? Who can kill him?" David very calmly replied, "I can." "You can?" They were surprised. "Yes, I can." They were taken aback. Now, David had just 3 weapons, which we all have. And as David had killed the giant, we also can kill our giants. As the story goes, David, when announced that "I am ready to go kill the giant," his brothers reflected upon it and thought, yes, we can give him a chance to kill him. So they decided, okay, we will give you the best of weapons, the best and the most strongest armor, and we will provide you the training also in warfare so that you should go kill the giant. Do you know what? David declined all these offers. He said, "No, I want to depend upon my own weapons." "Your own weapons?" "Yes. I don't want to use that armor which will stop my mobility. I don't want to try those weapons with which I'm not comfortable. So I want to depend upon my own weapons," David replied. Do you want to know what were those 3 weapons? Yes. The first one was his courage to take step despite of all the challenges and all the odds working against him. This was his first weapon. And the second, his faith in God. And the third, most important, his familiarity with his comfort or with his strength, his slingshot. David was a shepherd boy. सारा दिन भेड़ बकरी चराता था, कुछ काम होता नहीं तो अपनी गुलेल के साथ सब टाइम निशाने लगाता था. So this was his area of comfort. This was his expertise. He depended upon only these 3 weapons. And look at the irony, the perspective, right perspective. When Goliath came, the Israelite soldiers were looking at him and comparing their strength with his strength and competing with his strength. And they were wondering, how can we kill him? He is so powerful and he is so tall. On the other hand, David looked at him and he thought, he is so tall. It is difficult for him not to be seen. So it is difficult not to hit in his eyes. So he was looking at the bull's eye. Friends, what is your गुलेल? आपकी expertise क्या है? Generally, we miss this point. We don't look at the bull's eye. There is a very sad kind of a trick played by nature. I change my words, not sad, but ironical trick played by nature upon us. All our sense organs are on the outer side, and we are always looking outside, comparing ourselves with others, competing with others, and never ever try to go inside and look at our own strengths. We are trying to fix square pegs in round holes. Is this any wonder that we are so frustrated and we are feeling so trapped and not feeling like moving ahead freely? Yes, this is the reason. So, आपकी गुलेल क्या है? आपकी strengths क्या है? What are you comfortable with? For example, I'll share my strengths with you. I am an educator and I have a varied group of students. To put it in perspective, my youngest student may be a primary school student, going up to the university level students, stay at home moms, and corporate trainers up to that level. So what is my strength? My strength is I always provide them a motherly atmosphere. I expect them, I accept them unconditionally, wherever they are, with all their flaws, with all their limitations, whatever they bring along with that. And I start from that portion. I start from that level. And when I am explaining to my students, I try to reach up to their level, not bringing jargons which is not being understood by them. I try to make it as easy for them as possibly they can. So in this process, there happens to be breakthroughs and they get the real message and then they start moving ahead. This is my strength. Another example, my son, Inder. He is very comfortable with handling technology. On the other hand, this is my Achilles heel, although I'm working upon it and soon I will improve upon. Well, sometimes while working on a computer, on a tab, or sometimes even fiddling with my phone, I sometimes get stuck. For small, even sometimes can't even log in. So what do? I generally call my son and share my issue with him. So his answer is very simple and very straightforward. He tells me, Mom, put your phone on the loud and follow my instructions. And voila, within minutes, my issue gets resolved because that is his strength. So what are your strengths? Maybe you are good at generating resources, handling people, looking after patients, good with colors, writing poetry, flying an aeroplane, or simply making other persons comfortable? What are your strengths? Last week, as our second step, we had looked at all those 51 things which we thought are those things which are stopping us to move. Today, I want to bring your journal once again out of the cupboard or wherever you have kept it. Now open your journal in the middle, center portion. Here you have to write at least 50 those things which are real good things about you, your strengths. अब आपके दिमाग में आ सकता है कि ऐसी मेरे में तो कोई स्ट्रेंथ है नहीं। बहुत बार मैंने ऐसा देखा है, जो मेरी यंग फीमेल फ्रेंड्स या क्लाइंट्स होती हैं, वो ऐसी शिकायत करती है, मैं पढ़ी तो बहुत थी, नौकरी करना चाहती थी, पर बच्चों के करके मैं कर नहीं पाई। दिस इज योर स्ट्रेंथ माय डियर फ्रेंड। यू आर अडेप्टेबल, यू आर सेल्फ सैक्रिफाइसिंग। आपने अपने बच्चों के लिए अपने आप को पीछे कर लिया। दिस इज योर स्ट्रेंथ। बहुत बार मेरी एज के लोगों में मैंने ये एक शिकवा देखा है, जनरली वी कॉल इट एम्प्टी नेस्ट सिंड्रोम। दे फाइंड इट difficult to be happy at home. Kids are grown up, they have settled in their lives, and now they are feeling very lonely and they are thinking that there's nothing much for us to do. No, that was your strength. You gave so much of your life to your kids so that they could fly freely. This is your strength. So look at your strengths on these lines. You will be surprised to know, लिज्जत पापड़ बनाने से शुरू हुआ था। Kentucky chicken, we all are fond of chicken. पोइट्री आपकी स्ट्रेंथ हो सकती है, आप जावेद अख्तर बन सकते हो, सचिन तेंदुलकर, अमिताभ बच्चन, ये सब वो लोग हैं जिन्होंने अपनी स्ट्रेंथ पे काम किया है। काम करेंगे, we will connect the dots later on. At this moment, simply focus upon your strengths. Try to bring out your strengths and try to look at them as your assets. I'm sure you must have heard the name Leonardo da Vinci. He was a master of his art. Once while he was walking on a road, he heard somebody calling him. There was a poor lady. She called him and told him, "Master, I am a great fan of yours, but I am a poor person, can't buy your paintings. I will be very, very happy if you could write your name on this sheet." And she gave him a sheet. And she said that I'll show this sheet, your autograph, to my family and my friends, and I'll be very happy that you had done something for me. Now Da Vinci, he took a pen out of his pocket and he drew some lines on the paper and gave it back to the lady. And smilingly he told her, "Madam, this is worth 30,000 florin. This painting." Painting? She looked at the sheet. Yes, there was a beautiful face drawn by pen on that sheet. 30,000 florin? Florin means the currency of Italy at that time. The lady was surprised and said, just within 30 seconds के काम के बदले में 30,000 florin? Now listen to the answer. The master replied, "It's not about 30 seconds. It's about that 30 years to reach at this level where I can draw a masterpiece in 30 seconds. Friends, we all are the same. We all have the same assets. but we are not working upon our strengths. We are looking at our weaknesses. This is the time to do another important step. Last time you had written all your perceived notions or feelings or lackings. Today what we are going to do? Today we are going to staple them for once and all. Their job is over. Let us start looking at our life from a different angle. As I had told you in my last episode, let us take a different route this time and come out from our ashes as a brand new birth. Happy rebirth. Rise like a brand new phoenix. With that, I thank you.